Right then, Year 5s. Today I'm going to be helping you with today's maths, and that's to multiply unit fractions by an integer. Before we even start anything, I just want to explore some of the language that we're going to be looking at today. First of all, it's unit fraction. So what is a unit fraction? If I write the fraction here, I'm going to write 1/3. You know already, 3 is our denominator, 1 is our numerator. For a unit fraction, all that means is that the numerator is 1. So 1/3 is a unit fraction because the numerator is 1. In the same way that 1/4 is also a unit fraction, 1/10 is also a unit fraction, and 1/1000 is also a unit fraction. So these are our unit fractions. I'm going to just rub these off. The next word I want to have a look at is the word integer. An integer, all that means is any whole number. Okay, so these are our integers, any whole numbers, and a unit fraction is a fraction where the numerator is 1. Right, so we're going to have a look at multiplying these two together, a unit fraction by an integer. So the first one we're going to have a look at is 1/5 multiplied by 4. 1/5 is our unit fraction, and 4 is our integer. The first method, I'm going to show you 3 different methods today. And as I always say to you, maths is all about spotting patterns. So in these 3 methods that I show you, see if you can spot a pattern between the integer and the numerator. So to solve this one, first step, 1/5 multiplied by 4. I'm going to draw a bar like we do with most of our fraction calculations. Draw a bar, 1/5 is my fraction, how many parts make the whole? 5. 1 is my numerator, so I'm just going to shade in one of them. So here I have 1/5, but I need 4 lots of them, 4 lots of 1/5. I've only got 1 so far, so I now need to draw another. I've got 2, 3, and 4. Please excuse the slightly wobbly lines, but it should still work. Here we go. So I've now got 4. I've got 4 bars altogether, but it's still 1/5. So I need to shade in just one of each bar, and my total is denominator is still 5, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 for my numerator. So 1/5 multiplied by 4. 4 lots of 1/5 is 4/5. So that's one method to solve a unit fraction multiplied by an integer. The next method I'm going to show you is again using the bar model like we did before, but a more condensed version. So this time my unit fraction is going to be 1/4 and my integer is going to be 3. 1/4 multiplied by 3, or 3 lots of 1/4. I'm going to draw a bar again because we're using fractions. This time 4 is my denominator, 4 parts make the whole. 4 parts make the whole. And I have 1 as my numerator, so I'm going to shade in 1. But I've got 3 lots of them. 3 lots of 1/4. So there's 1 lot, 2, 3. So my total is 1, 2, 3 as my numerator, 4 as my denominator. The answer is 3/4. So 1/4 multiplied by 3 is the same as 3/4. I wonder if you started seeing a pattern there between the integer and the numerator to give you your final answer. Now the third and final method I'm going to show you isn't using bars, but it still looks pretty similar. It's actually looking at a number line. This time I'm going to have 5 as my integer. I'm going to switch them around. 5 as my integer and 1/6 as my unit fraction. Now this time, like I said, I'm going to use a number line. The number I'm going to use is going to go from 0 to 1. So remember, 1/6 is part of 1 whole. 1/6 is less than 1. So I'm going to draw a number line. I'm still going to have 6 parts that make the whole. 0 to 1 and 6 parts make the whole. This time, I need 5 lots of 1/6. So I'm going to have 1/6 here, 2 1/6, 3 1/6, 4 1/6. Hang on, Mr. Conway. Rub that out. Marvellous mistake, everybody. You know we love a marvellous mistake. That's 4 1/6, and finally 5 1/6. And now if I add these together, I get my answer as 5/6. So there we go, everybody. That's 3 ways to multiply a unit fraction by an integer. Now it's your turn to have a go at today's maths. I hope you have a lovely day.